Hey, this is Stacy from Let's Cook Y'all. Welcome back to our channel. If you're new, welcome. We're so glad you're here. We hope you'll enjoy all the content on our channel and you'll consider hitting that red subscribe button. We're back with a brand new week of some easy and delicious meals. We tried a couple of new things to show you guys this week, and we hope you enjoy all the food in this week's What's for Dinner video. The first recipe we have to share with you guys this week was sort of born out of necessity. I had several items on hand I wanted to use. The first was some red potatoes, which I washed and quartered. The second was a bag of green beans, which I also washed. And then what I do with my green beans is line them up and cut the ends off of each piece. The third thing I wanted to use was some mushrooms that I had in my refrigerator. So I looked around and found a recipe that I had tried last August. I put potatoes and green beans in my Instant Pot with some sausage, and I ran this by Tim and he said, please don't put my favorite sausage in the Instant Pot, I'd rather grill it. So we tried to do just the veggies in the Instant Pot. Today I'm going to get out the Instant Pot out of my storage cabinet in the pantry and put it on saute mode, and we'll get started with these vegetables. Once it heats up, I'm going to add 3/4 to 1 cup of chicken broth. I'll leave a link to the recipe that I used. I've noticed she has changed it since I made it last year. It's 365 days of crockpot.com. She has a lot of Instant Pot recipes. Last year when I made it with the sausage, her instructions said to cook it 3 minutes. And I noted in our video that we cooked it 4, and then you did a quick release. She has since changed her instructions and now has it cooking for 1 minute and letting it NPR for 3 to 5, which I guess is about the same thing. I'm not sure if this is going to work without the sausage, but we're about to find out. This is 4 tablespoons of butter cut into 8 pieces. I'm also going to add a dab of avocado oil and see how this goes. The first time I made this, I mixed them up. Her recipe says just to layer them, so we're going to give this a shot without taking a spoon and mixing them. And I'm going to do what I did the first time without the sausage. Just cook it for 3 minutes on high pressure. Since I had it on saute, it came to pressure quicker. It was about 11 and a half minutes. Now I'm going to cook it 3 minutes and then do a quick release. Those are definitely fork tender, so if you don't want them that mushy, cut back from the 3. Maybe try her revised recipe of 1 minute with a 3 minute NPR. These will be fine for us. This meal has Tim's name written all over it. He grilled out his favorite sausage rather than including it in with the vegetables in the Instant Pot. He grilled me some salmon. We made some garlic toast, French bread. Fixed us a quick salad using what I had on hand, and he's tasted, he's ready to eat. He's tasted these, said they were good. The red potatoes, green beans, and mushrooms from the Instant Pot. We will have enough left for lunch tomorrow, and we did Tim some extra sausage links so he can have them with his breakfast with fried eggs. And that is what's for dinner today at our house. You excited?
Very.
This week felt like I needed a Taco Tuesday, so I did a riff on a recipe I've not made in a long time. I started off by browning 1 pound of turkey. This is a deviation from the original recipe that I first started making according to my notes back in 2003. The original recipe does not have meat in it, but to make Tim happy, I added it. I browned the ground turkey. I took 1 can of refried beans, which I thinned with some canned red enchilada sauce. The original recipe calls for using green enchilada sauce, so you could use either. I did season my meat up with a lot of taco seasoning and water, so basically make a pound of taco meat. I added some of the taco seasoning to the thinned refried beans. You just basically want this to be pourable or spreadable. I took a round metal pie plate and put some of the enchilada sauce as a layer in the bottom, and then started layering. We're going to call it a taco pie or a tortilla pie. You put some of the bean mixture, then some of the meat, then some of the cheese, and I did this for 3 layers. As I said, the original recipe did not have meat. You layered refried beans, avocado, green salsa, and you did use enchilada sauce. The original recipe uses corn tortillas, and I used flour. But this is pretty versatile. I think you could make it any way you like, and we have made a version of this in the Instant Pot. I sprayed a piece of foil lightly with cooking spray, cover it up, put it in a 400-degree oven. We'll check it at about 15 minutes. Everything's really cooked, so it just needs to heat through and the cheese melt. I'm going to make a quick batch of guacamole. Normally I put red onion in my guacamole, but I had cut a little too much of the white. I don't normally like to eat the white. It's a little strong. So I'm gonna salt it a little bit and see if that'll cut a little bit of the bite while I'm working on the rest of the guacamole. Feel free to add cilantro or diced tomato if you like those in your guacamole. I do not. Like I said, I do prefer the red onion, but I went with the white, and you guys have convinced me. I used to put a mixture of sour cream and mayonnaise, and now I just use sour cream. We like it both ways, but it's just as easy to just use sour cream. So I got some guacamole going, kept a little lemon juice on it to keep it from browning, and then I tried to mix up a quick salad dressing. Normally I mix up a ranch, but since I had the rest of this Old El Paso enchilada sauce, I started mixing that with some sour cream since it was out for making the guacamole. I kept working with it and doctoring it using some different seasonings that I had, tasting and adjusting. I was feeling like making a little Tex-Mex or Mexican today, so we have made, I don't know what you want to call it, a taco pie, a tortilla pie, a layered taco, whatever you want to call it. We have also made one of these in the Instant Pot. If you have one of those and you'd like to try it, I will leave a link to the recipe. You basically make it the same way. We layered tortillas, a refried bean mixture, some meat and some cheeses, and just everything's already cooked. It just needs to heat through and the cheese melt. I made some guacamole, made us a quick avocado salad, and normally I would have made a dressing, either a Mexican ranch, or I might have mixed up some salsa and sour cream, but since I had the enchilada sauce open and didn't use the whole can, I mixed that with sour cream and added a bunch of seasonings. I kept tasting until it tasted correct to me. So we will figure out how to cut this beauty and eat it. So taco pie, salad, and guacamole and chips is what is for dinner today. I think get the master to cut it. Master Tim.
Could just take a big old bite of it, like a cheeseburger.
That is not a cheeseburger, darling.
Is that small enough for you?
I'm not gonna eat that much. You're funny. That's closer to my size. Getting it out is gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be mooey gooey delicioso. It's gonna be a mooey gooey mess, I bet. Oh no, it cut pretty well. Look at that. That's why I waited for the master. Look at you. I don't know if any of y'all are like me, but when it gets to be spring, my eyes are always bigger than what I can deal with. If I go to the nursery and try to buy flowers, I always overbuy. And when produce starts coming back in and is on sale at a good price at the grocery store, I always overbuy. So I was looking for something to do. I had 2 zucchini, some onion, some bell pepper. I racked my brain, just wasn't feeling it. So I pretty much stuck to a tried and true. I got a big pan going, some olive oil, started sauteing the onions and the peppers. And then when those were about halfway done, I added my very last package of these chicken sausages from Sam's Club in another skillet. I got it hot and added some olive oil and added that diced zucchini. You'll be happy to know this is a new recipe we tried. I had 2 very similar recipes. One called for zucchini and some frozen corn. The other called for that in addition to some black beans. I went with the simpler one because it made a smaller amount. I seasoned the zucchini and corn with some basil, oregano, thyme, and I did add a little bit more corn because Tim loves it. Towards the end, I seasoned with some salt and pepper. If you've watched here before, you know I don't like to add my garlic until the last minute so that it doesn't burn. I added that, stirred everything around, seasoned it right at the end before we were ready to eat it with a dash of lime juice and some shredded or grated Parmesan cheese. Didn't do a 1 skillet meal, but we did do a 2 skillet. I actually thought about doing the sausage and peppers with some chicken sausages in my air fryer, but every time I show the air fryer, we always get someone who's very unhappy about that. But on the flip side of that coin, there's always someone that likes it. So you can easily cook the onions and peppers in your air fryer. These chicken sausages are already fully cooked, so they just need heating up. So it would just take probably about the same amount of time, maybe 8 to 10 minutes in the air fryer. I just did them in a skillet. Got 1 skillet to wash. The second one has this new zucchini, corn, Parmesan, I guess it's called a salad, warm side dish. I may try it with the black beans next time, maybe for a Taco Tuesday. So other than my cutting board, I only have 2 skillets to wash, and we've got a lot of vegetables, and Tim's got some meat. And it goes without saying, you know that I love that man, because if you've watched here before, I do not like bell peppers. I don't like them touching. I don't like to touch them. I don't like to buy them. I don't like to wash them, cut them, cook them, and I really don't like them touching my food. But I love Tim to pieces, so he loves sausage with peppers and onions, so that's for him. That's what's for dinner today. Since Tim had plenty of leftovers from cooking sausage not once but twice this week, I took this chance to make something that I love. I took a sweet potato and chunked it up, added olive oil, salt, pepper, Italian seasoning, and a dash of chili flake. Cooked them till they were crispy in my air fryer. Added some homemade ranch that I made up, some bacon bits that I'd crisped up in the skillet, some diced avocado, and mixed it all together. We've shown this before. I love these. They are incredibly filling and delicious to me. These are some loaded sweet potato fries with a fried egg on top. Tim just does not know what he's missing. For Fridays during Lent, I've been trying to cook meatless. I've mostly done seafood, but I decided I wanted to try a new recipe using quinoa. I haven't cooked any quinoa in a while. All I had in my pantry was tricolor, which made it look a little different. If I'd used white, it would have looked a little better. But I rinsed 3/4 cup of quinoa till the water ran clear, and then cooked it in 1.5 cups of water. I took a zucchini and grated up about 1 cup. This is my flat grater that folds that I love. It's easy to use, it's easy to clean, and we'll leave a link to something real similar that I get from Amazon. I love it because it folds flat and it takes so little space to store. This recipe needs 2 whole eggs and 2 egg whites, which kind of surprised me for the amount of ingredients. But I'll get my little egg separator out and separate 2 whites. To keep an eye on the quinoa, the package said to cook for 15 or 20 minutes, but all of the liquid is gone in mine in about 13 or 14. I did add a pinch of salt and 1 little spritz of olive oil to help it cook, give it a little more flavor. Quinoa is a very blank palate. I don't have any diced ham open in a package. I usually get at Kroger or Walmart. I think it's a John Morrell brand. So I'm just going to take some deli ham that Tim likes for sandwiches and dice that up and about a half a cup. Instead of Swiss cheese, I have Italian open. That's a cup, and then about 2 tablespoons of Parmesan. It called for fresh parsley. Since I used Italian cheese, I'm going to use some Italian seasoning and some white pepper. Get this mixed up. It calls for cooking in the oven in silicone cupcake muffin liners that I have sprayed with spray, and you would cook those at 400 for about 30 minutes, I think, but I'm going to stick these in my air fryer at 370 and see how long they take and how this tastes. This is the second new recipe I made this week from allrecipes.com. I got 6 cups out and sprayed them because the original recipe said it made 6 frittatas. Come to find out, I had half of it left, so it definitely needed more than 6. I should have read through all the comments. I found a helper who walked in at the perfect time for putting these in my very hot air fryer that I just preheated for 3 minutes. Just don't burn your hand. Obviously all 12 won't cook, but I can pre-get 6 in one batch. I can do about 7 or 8. But I'm still going to use the air fryer, but you can cook them in the oven. The woman that wrote this recipe on All Recipes, she must have had Texas jumbo size muffin cups to say they fit in 6. That's good. I'll do the other 3. But it made 12. Got 9 in there, and we're going to try them at 370, and I'm going to start checking them around 16 or 18 minutes. Tim has a lot of meat, so I took this chance to try something different that's probably not his cup of tea. I've made these little mini quinoa frittatas using what I had. These are obviously not vegan or vegetarian, but I'm sure you could leave out the ham or substitute it with bacon. I did read through a few of the comments. There was 80 or more once I realized that it took more than 6 cups, and most people said it took 12 muffin cups for this recipe. I would have cut it in half if I'd realized that. I saw that it made 6 cups, so I thought it was less. I will taste these. Tim will probably not, and I'll leave a comment as to whether or not I liked them, since I have a dozen of them. I did some garlic bread on the side and a big salad using what I had. Some carrots and red onions, the same cheeses I put in the frittata, some nuts and craisins, and some jarred marinated mushrooms. So I will make up my plate, see if Tim likes this, wants to try this, or heat up some meat since he's a carnivore. And quinoa zucchini frittatas, a salad, is what's for dinner today. Tim made up this plate, and then he went and dug him out a piece of sausage. Alexa, stop. Tim needs a little meat. If I'd known he was going to try the frittatas, I probably would have added some hot sauce or put a little more meat in it, but we will leave a comment, and he will probably eat a lot of the sausage to go with his salad and garlic bread. Quinoa frittata. Oh, he's so excited if y'all could see his face. This is my plate, and then I heard Tim go,
Ah!
and I didn't understand what he meant, and he said,
I think I have frittata poisoning.
Frittata poisoning. So maybe they're not very good.
They're not bad.
They're not bad. That's good from Tim. It's got quinoa in it. Poor thing. And a quick bonus, if you don't know how easy it is to cut a whole pineapple, they are on sale this week at our Kroger for 99 cents. All you need is a sharp knife. You can purchase one of these pineapple cores and cutters, but you absolutely don't need it. You need to cut the top and the bottom off, make a stable surface. Take your knife and run down each side and just get that green core off. I do try to go ahead and get as many of those little brown eyes as I can. Then you take a good sharp knife, go right through the middle, and you're going to cut through that core, which is not hard if you have a good knife. The next thing you're going to do is take each of those halves and go down the middle. That's that core we're trying to get. So I just go right down the middle and then cut on an angle. You'll end up with 4 of these large quartered pieces, which you can then take and cut into long strips, which is what I do. Sometimes I cut them into chunks, but for 99 cents, about 4 minutes of your time with a good knife, you can have a nice fresh pineapple and save yourself $3 or $4. Happy Easter to everyone. We'll be back next week with our Easter and weekend meals and a brand new set of meals for the coming week. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Have a wonderful and truly blessed day.